Good morning. Good morning. Happy Sunday, everyone. Welcome to my craft room. My name is Tina Bigford. I am an independent demonstrator for Stampin' Up! Here in the US. Let's see, today is December 29th, 2024. Today is the last Sunday of 2024. Still shaking my head about how fast 2024 went. If you're here live and watching me live, go ahead and leave a comment. Let me know that you are here watching live. If you are watching me over on YouTube and you're not already subscribed to my channel, go ahead and just click that subscribe button below. Really help me out. And if you never want to miss when I go live, there's also a bell button. If you just click the little bell symbol, you'll get notifications on when I go live. And I would love it if you would also like and share my videos with your other crafty friends. So, let's see, is anybody else still exhausted from Christmas? I feel like I just am still exhausted from Christmas. All right, last week we made a card using, so I was going through the Wildflower birthday paper pack, the 12 by 12 paper pack that's going to be available beginning January 7th. And I made a bunch of cards out of that paper, and I thought that I would, good morning, Aunt Judy. I thought that I would share first all of the cards that I made out of that paper. Like the paper is beautiful to begin with, but then I made all these cards, and I'll show them to you. Good morning, Mom. Good morning, Dad. So first I'll show you all of the cards that I got out of that last paper pack. We'll look at the card that we actually made last week, and then the other cards that I got out of that paper, and then we'll get right into that bandstand card. You guys are gonna love the bandstand card. And it's super easy to make. It's a lot easier to make than it looks. It looks very complicated, but it's not. So just drink my coffee. Everybody got their coffee? I put mine way over on the other desk because so when I was doing some Christmas cards and I was addressing a couple of the last Christmas cards I was doing, I was using the crank on the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, and I elbowed my coffee and went over and ruined about 6 Christmas cards that I had to remake. So now I put it out of my reach when I'm doing cards. So let's just go ahead and switch down to the desk camera. Give me a second to do that. Okay. So this is actually the card that we made last week. The only thing that I did differently is I did come in here and I gave it just a little gold sequin on that tag. That was the one that we made. And of course, my sample card that I made. So there's both of those. This card, this is one of the die cuts from that paper pack. And then I just added a tag, a little bit of embossing. This is a new embossing folder I think it's called Soft Waves. That's also going to be available on January 7th. And just a tag and simple. I did a little pocket here to put a gift card. Let me see if I can find that sample gift card. So you can just put a little gift card right in there. So there's that one. And then this one here, made this one out of that. This was one of so from the paper, this is actually double-sided paper, and on one side of the paper, it had all of the tags. And then these are some of the die cuts that were on there. So there was that one, and this was another one of the tags that's on that paper. This is what's on the back of the paper on all of those tags. So there was that one. I added just a little bit of pretty in pink with an embossing folder and some gold hearts. These hearts, I don't have those ones labeled yet, so I can't remember if those are available now or if that's another January 7th thing, but those are really cute embellishments there. And then this one, this is same thing. This is a tag that came off of that 12 by 12 paper. And this is, these are just die cuts that I put together, a bunch of die cuts that I put together there. I got to get that glue off. And that one just opens that way. Let me set that one aside because I have to get that glue off. And then this one, same thing. This is just one of those die cuts. How simple is that? Just this beautiful card with all of that gold on it, a little bit of embossing and a tag, and you have a nice card. This one, so same thing. I just pulled out, so for a lot of these, I just pulled out my Dashing Designs embossing folder because it's, trying to use limited supplies to show you how you can get so many cards out of this paper by just adding a few things. So the Dashing Designs embossing folder, this is one of the tags from behind. This balloon and the cupcake and the little flower on the cupcake are all die cuts out of that paper. And then I just stamped happy and birthday and fussy cut them. And then the two is from the die set that goes with that cakes birthday celebration stamp set. So there was that one, and then this one here. So this one was one of the tags from that same paper that I just cut diagonal and then put a line of flowers here and just one stamp there. I added a few gold embellishments, just that. This one, which is using that tag and the wishing stamp from the what is it called? The Delightful Wishes. So this is from the Delightful Wishes stamp set and die set. This is one of those tags. This is a new embossing folder. I can't remember the name of it. It is a celebration embossing folder. So with an order of $60 or more, you can get that embossing folder free. This one is this one's simple. Really simple. I just it's white on white. I used an embossing folder that you guys have seen me use for a long time. Love that circles, the circles embossing folder. And this is just one of the die cuts that I popped up on dimensionals. And I didn't do anything on the inside on these. I just figured I'd leave them just the card fronts. This one right here. So this is just, I don't know if you can even see how, trying to get that paper. You can't even see how, but just a really nice, delicate, soft design in that designer series paper. A nice, delicate embossing folder, and just all the die cuts. These are all the die cuts, and this is from that same 12 by 12 sheet of paper with all of the tags and stuff on it. And then same thing here. This is that same embossing folder. Cute Crochet is what this one is called. Several of those little die cuts and one of those tags from that 12 by 12 sheet of paper. And then this is just from that 12 by 12 sheet of paper. This was the element that was on there, and I just layered it on a piece of Misty Moonlight and then popped it up on dimensionals. So that was that one. And then this one, which is really just, I used the same, what did I just say? The Cute Crochet embossing folder. And then I used the Countryside Corners dies, and I die cut the front of both, both of those layers. And I used a window sheet, put a window sheet in between them, and then just put one of those die cuts from that Wildflower birthday celebration paper pack. And then I just stamped happy birthday on the inside. Now, I'm not in love with the way this looks here, where you can see the dimensionals, but I did want, and I may still play with this one to see if there's anything else I could do, but look at all of these cards I got out of that paper pack. And that's not all. I also did, I did this one, which is the same Bandstand card that we're going to be doing today. So the same thing, this one here, it's been laying flat for a little while. So there's this one. And then this one, which I showed you guys last week. All of this out of that one, oh, and this one, all of this out of that one 12 by 12 sheet of paper and the 2 sheets of the die cuts out of that that paper pack. And I still have several die cuts left that I can do cards with. So that's pretty exciting. All right, so the Bandstand card. Let's just clear all of these out of the way. And I have, so we did these are the 2 Bandstand cards that you have seen. I still have a couple of alternate designs that I did yesterday that I can show, but these are the 2 designs that we have so far. Excuse me. And what I did, just to make this a little bit easier for those of you who do want to make this card, and you'll be able to, when you watch the replay, you'll be able to just pause it to get these dimensions. So I wrote all of the dimensions down on my grid paper so that you could see. It's several pieces. So we'll go through those. And I did cut everything in advance so that you didn't have to actually watch me cut it. So we have our card base, which is 4 1/4 by 5 3/8. And then we have 2 pieces of CS's cardstock. So we have 2 pieces of the same color cardstock as your card base. It doesn't have to be white, but these 2 pieces measure 1 1/4 by 7. Those 2. And then we have, for our DSP, which is our designer series paper, we just dump all those out there. We have 2 pieces that are 1 inch by 1 3/4 inches. Now, these are, I just want to set these ones. Yep. Okay. So we have 2 pieces that are 1 inch by 1 3/4 inches and 4 pieces that are 1 inch by 1 1/2 inches. So there's those. And then we do have 1 piece of the same designer series paper that is 4 inches by 3 5/8 inches. Nope. Almost done. And we have 2 pieces of, the same designer series paper that are 4 inches by 1/2 inch. I just want to skip down to this one, 2 that are 4 inches by 5/8 of an inch. So when you get those, you'll see that they're very close. So you want to pay attention that you've got the 2 1/2 inch ones and then the 2 5/8 inch ones. And then this piece here, this piece of cardstock, if you don't have a white card base, even if you do have a white card base, if you want to add another piece on the back panel, one with a sentimental one to write on, this is going to be the size that you're going to use. It's 4 inches by 3 5/8 inches. And I would recommend a lighter color cardstock, maybe the basic white or the barely beige or vanilla or whatever, you know, cardstock suits your fancy or coordinates with your cards. Okay, so let's set some of this designer series paper aside and let's just work on our card base. So with our card base, we are scoring that card base, our card base at it's, we're going to score it at 3/4 of an inch in from each side. And then I'm just going to give that a little fold and crease. Just like that. Okay. And then for our 2 strips, these are going to be, each one of them is going to be scored exactly the same. So it's going to be scored at 3/4 of an inch, 2.5 inches, 4.5 inches, and then 6.25 inch. Both of them are scored exactly the same way. And we're just going to do the same thing, give these all a little crease like that. Oops, this one, same thing. And I know we've discussed this before, but when you do the scoring, when you score, there is one side of the paper that is indented, and then there's one side that is raised. And you always want to fold away from the indented one and towards the raised side. That gives you a nice clean score and fold that doesn't get I don't know the word I'm looking for. When it just gets a little bit rough and doesn't look nice. I don't know what my words are today. All right, so you can use, we're going to start applying some of our designer series paper. Now you can use any adhesive that you want for this, or you know, you can use a multi-purpose liquid glue, gives you a little bit of time to wiggle the paper around to position it. You can use your Stampin' Seal. You can use whatever you have. So I'm going to just set these ones aside and work on this base. So for the base, we're going to need that one piece of designer series paper that is 4 inches by 3 5/8 inches. And we're going to need the 2 that are 4 inches by 1/2 inch. These 2 here. Okay. I am going to use my Stampin' Seal just to make it easy. So and you can see that I'm using the back side of that paper. So these were the tags that were on there. And trust me, it's hard when you have that gold. I have such a hard time covering that up, but I wanted to use this side here. So I'm just going to add some seal to each of these. And I'm just adding it on the end because this is actually going to be technically on the inside of your card. And then I'll add some here. A little there. All right. So I'm going to now position this, and this, it's got flowers on it and stuff. It's not really, the flowers are not directional. I mean, you can have it go this way or this way, but the flowers themselves won't be upside down if I put it this way or this way. So I'm just going to position this, center it in that middle section, and I'm just lining it up between the score lines and that top. And then I'm going to do the same thing. Oh my goodness. I put adhesive on the wrong side of that. Lord. All right. It's all good. Now I'm sticking. It's all good. Let's see if I can just get that off. My handy dandy adhesive eraser. If not, I'll just cut new pieces. Yep. I'm just going to cut new pieces. Hold on. This is what happens when you don't really pay attention. All right. So this is actually, it's a good opportunity for me. Yeah, it was planned. this was planned. I wanted to be able to show you this. So this is actually the paper. And I started cutting. Now I was when I was cutting using this side, I was very specific about what I was cutting into on this side to make sure that I still have the ability to use this and maybe some of this. So I'm going to cut my strips off of this side because these tags I've already cut into. So I'm just going to come in with my cutter. And I need 2 strips that are 4 inches long and a 1/2 inch wide. So I'm just measuring this edge of the paper to see if I have 8 inches, and I do have exactly 8 inches. So I'm going to just cut a 1/2 inch off of this side because it's 8 inches, and then I'm going to cut it in half. So I'm going to line that up with the 1/2 inch mark on this side of the track. There. And then I'm just going to cut that in half, 4 inches. And there I have my 2 pieces. And crisis averted. So now let's just put adhesive on the correct side. You guys probably saw that I was doing that wrong. Okay. That glue off there. All right. So back to the card. Now we're just going to do the same thing. So I'm just going to line this up in that side section and do the same thing here in that side section. There. So that's our card base right there. Just like that. All right. So I think what I wanted, so because I have a white card base, I'm going to go ahead and stamp something on the back of this right now. So that, because it'll be much harder to do once I have put the rest of the elements on. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my peach pie and my pool party. Those are the 2 colors that are in my main focal point, my element. So I'm going to use these 2 colors here, and I'm just going to I'm going to do birthday in the pool party. I'm going to stamp happy birthday on here. So I'm just going to stamp birthday right there. And then I'm going to come in with the happy. I'm going to stamp that just up there, like so. And that's all the stamping that we're doing. That's it. And it's because the elements that we have they have enough going on. So I use, this is the stamp set that I just used. This is the birthday celebration. It's the one we used last week. Last week we did happy cake day. So we just did happy birthday. So there's that. Okay. So we have the back of our card all set. We have the card base all set. We're just going to come in now and put some design series paper on these 2 strips. So with this strip, because of the way that it's scored, this center section on each one is just a little bit wider than the 2 side sections. So that's why we have 2 different sizes here. We have, we have the 1 by 1 3/4 and the 1 by 1 1/2. So just pay attention when you're putting those on that you're using the 1 3/4 inch panel for the center. So let's do that. Grab my seal adhesive. And I do love my multi-purpose glue, but this one I thought, because I wanted to show you all of those cards that I got, and I didn't know how long it would take me to do that. All of those cards that I made out of this paper. This paper is so gorgeous. The colors. Whereas I love the Pool Party. It's probably my favorite color of all of the colors, the current colors right now, because it reminds me of the Caribbean Ocean. Yeah. All right. So there's that. And we're going to do the same here. And these ones on. Now, when you're doing this card, you could, I'll show you some of the examples afterwards, and we'll talk about it. But if you wanted to actually do more and put like some kind of an element here on the inside of your card base, you absolutely could. You just want to make sure that when you're doing your design that you're going to be able to see it, because we're going to pop this up. So like in this example, you can see that I didn't put anything on the inside card base because this element really just is, you know, the whole show. So, but if you have a clear element or a smaller element here, then you could certainly put something on the inside there. Okay. So these are our pieces. All right. So we are going to grab our tear and tape. We're going to need that for this step. What we're going to do is we're just going to take this card and we're going to flip it over. And this doesn't actually, it doesn't matter with these because there's nothing directional. If you are using designer series paper that is directional, you do want to make sure that you are aware of the position that you are putting these panels on. One of these is going to go on the top and one of them is going to go on the bottom. So we're going to just flip them over, flip this one over, and we're going to line this up center between these two end pieces of our 7-inch strip. Now, I would recommend that you fold these in. This is how this is going to get glued down. Make sure that you have good spacing. Make sure everything's lined up here before you even add any adhesive. When I did mine, so when Susan did hers, she added 2 strips of the tear and tape. I used 1 strip of the tear and tape and found that it was actually sufficient. So you do whatever you think, but you're going to add the tear and tape right to the very edge of each side, of this 7-inch strip, like so. And I'm just gonna make sure that that's down with my thumb, and I'm going to come in. So I like to remove the adhesive, well, because I've done several of these now, so I remove the adhesive. I would recommend, if you're making your first one, don't remove this the release paper on the tear and tape yet until after you've gotten this all positioned and you are comfortable with it. So what we're doing is we are lining up the edges. We're lining up that top edge to the top edge and centered between the 2 score lines. And you will have a little bit of space on each side where that score, let me see if I can get that. Little bit of space there where it's not right up against the score line, and you want that because you need a little bit of wiggle room. So just make sure that that's in place and just put that down. And now we're going to do the same thing with the bottom. So grab my tear and tape, put that right on the very edge, just like so. And both sides. And the tear and tape is actually really easy to use, although very sticky. It is a very strong adhesive. I'm just going to, and if you like this one right here, you can see I kind of went over when I tore it. I'm just going to fold it back on itself. Once I tear that off, I'm just going to fold it right back. Problem solved. So I'm a problem solver like that. All right. So now we're going to do, so I find it easier, instead of now lining up the bottom and the bottom, I just find it easier to flip it all around and do the top and the top. And, you know, it's just my preference, but you're just really doing the same exact thing that you did on the top. You're just going to center it between those two folds and make sure that you are nice and even up here. And then just press those down like so. Flip it over, and now you have this card. Cute, cute. Now on the back is where we are going to put these two strips of paper. These are the ones that are the 4 by 5/8 of an inch. I'm just going to do the same thing. I'm going to put some tear and tape on here, tape covering up that gold. And then you're going to line each one of them up. Now, when you line them up, you are going to come very close to, if not right at the edge of that. I'm not even on the camera half the time here, right at the edge of that. So I'll show you when I get this on. Like that. So you can see I'm right at that edge. And I'm going to do the same thing with the other side. And pop that one on. So the back of the card is done. The back of the card is all set. Now the front of the card. All right. I decided I was going to use this cake element, but I wanted to jazz it up. So I put one of the other die cuts, two of the other die cuts actually, a flower and a leaf, and I popped those up on dimensionals. I don't know if you can see that very well. So it just gives it a little bit of dimension. And then I decided to go with this die cut. So this die cut is actually part of the Wildflower Designs bundle. It's a stamp. I mean, it's a die that is in the Wildflower Designs dies. These are actually super fun. These all of these. These are actually the reason I got this bundle, because I just wanted those. So that is those. And that Wildflower Designs is actually in the annual catalog. So here, I think I'm going to use my multi-purpose glue, because I'm going to line this element up. Now I thought about putting it this way, but then when I put the cake on top of it, I didn't really see that. So I want to put it this way. So I'm going to line this up. I'm going to add a little bit of glue. Now, when you add glue, you only want to add, you don't want your glue to go beyond this center section, because that's going to be what pops up. So you don't want your paper glued down there. So I'm just going to, we're safe to add glue pretty much to this whole end. So I'm just going to add little dots, not going to go crazy on both sides, like so. And then I'm going to flatten this out, because I want to make sure I am even top to bottom and side to side. Just going to hold that down, let that glue take. Bam. How cute is that? Cute. Now let's add our cake. For the cake, I am going to use dimensionals, because, again, so I'm just going to look to see where I can place dimensionals. So I can place dimensionals anywhere on this, the stem of this cake tray stand, and I can place them up on the candles. So that's what I am going to do. A little bit of glue on my paper. All right, so I'm just going to put, you don't really need much. This element is not going to be, people aren't going to be yanking and tugging at it. So I'm just going to put that down right there. And there's nothing in the middle for it to adhere to. So we're just going to use these two, and that's it. So I'm going to press that down, center that top to bottom, and in the center, add my cake, and voila, look at that card. Boom. So when it stands up for display. It pops out. It's three-dimensional, so it's all this dimension that's in there. Who wouldn't love to get that card for their birthday? Seriously. Just like that. So that is our card. I told you it was easy, easier than it looks. It looks really complicated, but it is not. So let's just bring back, let me just cover. So that's our card. That's the one that we're making, that we made today. Well, let's just bring back the other two that you have already seen. This one here, let me just try to make them dimensional so that you can see them this way. You see those all right? Okay. And then this one. This one has that really nice soft green designer series paper on the inside. So all of the focus really is on that front element. And then I did some others that I want to show you. So your card base doesn't have to be white. Look at this. Now this is one, remember I showed you the portrait version where we did, I have those right here. So we did these ones, the portrait version with the window sheet. So it looked like your elements are floating. So, and these are the ones we're going to do next week, because I do love this design. So I figured I would try the window sheet technique with the landscape version. So it looks like that heart is just barely kissing the top and the bottom. And I used, instead of using designer series paper, I actually did layers. So my white layer is just a smidge larger than what the designer series paper dimensions are for these, because so the black paper is embossed and the black cardstock that's here is the same size, as that designer series paper that we put here. These 1-inch pieces, the 1 inch by 1 3/4 and 1.5. So I made my white layer just a smidge larger so that I could have a layering panel. This is designer series paper that is retired, but I thought it went really well with this card. And I didn't put a white panel on the back yet. I still have to do that. So there's that card. Oops, these, that one. And then I did one using the Blackberry Bliss card base and some other designer series paper that is retired. This one, I didn't use another layer, just the designer series paper. But for my element, I thought that I would use just something kind of different. So I did a rectangle. These are out of the Nested Essentials dies. And then this is a another stamp set that is coming out. This one is going to be in the January to April 2025 mini catalog. This one is called One More Year. Cute. So if you like to do funny birthday cards, this is a good one. Like you're how old in dog years you'd be. And then happy birthday, another wrinkle wiser, and happy birthday now back to me. And then at least you're not as old as you'll be next year. How cool is that? Funny ones. So I did one with the only serious one in there, aging fine like cheese and wine, or the most serious one, I should say. And then I just colored all of those elements there. And then the last one This is another stamp set that's coming out. Cute. This one is called Classic Wedding. This one is, let me just see. This one is, actually, so this one is in the online exclusives. I'll have to check to see if this one's actually available now. So this is an awesome stamp set. It comes with all kinds of, it comes with a car, all of the stamps to stamp the outline of the car and to stamp all of the inside elements of the car, the tires, the paint, the windows. And then it comes with all of these fun things that you can, this is it. So all of these fun things that you can actually put on the car. Let me just see the, grab the dies. You can see the dies, the classic wedding dies. So you can see them with all of these fun, like you can do like roses, hearts, more hearts. This is for the cans and some flowers and the cans, but you can cut out, like if you wanted to cut out of silver cardstock, the bumper and like all of the license plate and all of that stuff. So fun. So fun. I had fun making that one. I'm still working on some other cards using this one because I like that it's a wedding one. It has all of the sentiments for wedding, just married, and the banner, which is what I have here. You know, confetti and all of that. I like all of that, but I do want to find other purposes for this other than just wedding. Because really, I mean, unless you're really super popular and you are going to, you know, lots of weddings each year, I think that one has a limited purpose as just for a wedding. So I will play around with this stamp set and see if we can come up with other types of cards to do for that. So yeah, there are the cards. Aren't they amazing? They're so amazing. And I'll just bring back really quick, just bring back these two that are the portrait mode, if you will. These ones are in portrait orientation. So those two, I can't fit all of these in the camera view. So set those ones aside. And then just as a quick reminder, all of those cards out of that one paper. So if you are a card maker and you want some really great paper, that 12 by 12 paper pack is going to be a keeper. The colors are beautiful and cute, and you can get you can do thank you, can do whatever sentiment you want out of it, but you can get, you know, princess birthdays and congratulations, and you can get you know, a child's birthday, just all kinds of stuff. So that is that. Let me just switch back to, well, my desk is a mess. I'm just going to switch back to the other camera. Give me a minute for that. Figure out how to do that. Oh, Lord. Yeah. Let me know how you like the cards. I love them. I think it's a wonderful design. So thankful to Susan Campfield for designing that, and I had a lot of fun making them. I'm going to make a lot of the other the portrait style ones so that we can do those ones next week. And if you have any thoughts on the cards or the ones that you that I showed, or if you have any suggestions, any card types, like let me know. What do you send cards for? Do you send cards? What do you send them for? Now, Mom, I know you have a lot of cards already that you can send. But I don't think I put any of these in there for you. I'll have to get some of these over to you. So yeah, anyway, I had a blast making these cards. This is, like I said, the last Sunday of 2024. So I hope you all have a fabulous New Year's Eve, a safe and fabulous New Year's Eve. If you can stay in and celebrate, obviously, stay off the roads. Um, that's what I'm doing. I'm staying in, and we're just going to celebrate and have fun. And I hope you all have a wonderful new year. And I will see all of you next week, which will be the first Sunday of 2025. How fun is that? Maybe we'll do something. Um, Maybe I'll do a New Year's Eve, a New Year's version card. I think that would be kind of fun. So maybe that's what I'll work on. And yeah, until then, I will see you all next week. I hope you all have a great week and a safe New Year's. Bye.